Hey everybody, here is the next Yokai video. I think this is around number 6. Name of the game is Speed. This is for Instagram. そもそも妖怪って何者？妖怪とは不思議な現象を起こすキャラクターの総称です。Alright, that's what we're going over today. This sentence up here, the topic sentence, and this first sentence right here. This is once again that Yokomo sensei lady with the weird camera and she's reading a book and has way too much clothing on. Alright. Once again, you can read the vocabulary breakdowns and grammar breakdowns in the document that I'm making for Patreon, which $1 a month, you get access to all that. But for the video, boom, I took those sentences and I blew them explosively up. You can't read the full bottom sentence, but don't worry, we will scroll down when we get there. All right, so we have そもそも yokai te nani mono? My phone just vibrated. そもそも, first of all, yokai, that's the thing that we're talking about. Speaking of yokai, when we talk about yokai, speaking of yokai, this small tsu te can basically be translated as a wa particle. So, そもそも yokai wa nanimono. Nanimono is just a fancy way of saying who or what kind of a thing or what thing are they. So, I mean, this is a pretty basic sentence. First of all, subject, and then a compliment, and there should be a deska there if you want to be polite, but we're not being polite because it's like the lady talking. First off, what kind of a thing is a yokai? What is a yokai? So the mono here is making it like a thing, a person. So what kind of a person, what kind of a thing, what is, who is a yokai? So it's a little bit different than nani, but it's translates pretty much the exact same thing. First off, what kind of a thing is a yokai? Nanimono, yokai, somo, new words, small to te, we've seen a million times, and we will see a million times in the future. Next sentence. Yokai to wa, again, this to right here is the same thing as this small to te, just slurred for speaking. Yokai to wa, 不思議な現象を起こすキャラクターの総称です. Alright, so yokai to wa. Basically, this is just translated the same as saying yokai wa. The to here is basically the quotation, like saying yokai or speaking of yokai is kind of what's actually happening with the to there. We can largely ignore it when we're translating though. So speaking of yokai or when we say yokai or something like that, yokai to wa, when we're speaking of yokai, blah, 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 blah. Sousho desu. Sousho is a generic term. It is a generic term. A generic term. What kind of a generic term? A generic term that is somehow being modified by character. So it is a character's generic term. A generic term for a character. What kind of a character? A character, and then notice we have a verb, a character who okosus. So when we have a noun being modified directly ad nominally by a that means the word goes in front of the noun ad nominally by a verb, we just simply use a relative pronoun, a character who okosus. Okosu is to cause, to create, to bring about. To bring about what? The O particle tells us what they're bringing about. A gensho, of course, all those genshos. It means a phenomenon, phenomenon. Gensho. A gensho is a phenomenon. And this phenomenon is being modified by this na adjective, fushigi. Fushigi, which my little Microsoft bubble keeps cutting off. Fushigi means strange, uncommon, not usual. So, speaking of yokai, the word yokai, when we say yokai, it is a generic term for characters who cause strange phenomenon. Do 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 do.